We now have Grace Lee, our ReThink Disposable Program Director, with us tonight. ReThink Disposable focuses on eliminating everyday plastics in our households, in restaurants, and as you will see in this video, at an aftercare program for children in a recreational facility in the Bay Area of California.
The mission of ReThink Disposable is to change the narrative of food packaging so that reuse is the norm.
San Carlos Youth Center is a free after-school program for youth ages 10 to 17. And we offer free after-school tutoring. We have a gym where the kids can play. We have a game room. And then our most popular room is our kitchen, where we do free after-school snacks and have an after-school cooking club.
We had kids who would run to the youth center from school just to cook with us.
The kids get a cooking lesson every day. They'll really range from spaghetti and meatballs to tacos to fun things like homemade pizza.
Everything was being served with a single-use disposable item. Paper plates, paper bowls, plastic utensils, plastic cups, disposable popcorn bags, and paper napkins for snacks. Single-use packaging is everywhere. It's on our plates, it's in our streets, it's in our oceans, it's in our bodies. Most of the street litter you see is food and beverage packaging. By the year 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish. There's a better way to do things, and that's through a circular reuse system.
And this kind of fits more into what we're about and what we do than just constantly getting paper bowls and plastic utensils.
Our staff were not only educated, but provided the resources to eliminate all single-use disposable foodware for our programs.
You know, we don't have to keep dropping a bunch of money on disposable things every month, and I don't have to go to the store and buy all those disposable things anymore.
By tracking pre- and post-program packaging procurement, we've seen time and time again that saving the environment and saving money go hand in hand. Caitlin and her team are dealing with so much stuff right now, keeping the kids safe, keeping staff safe.
We started conversations with ReThink a week prior to everything shutting down for COVID.
Sustainability, like with a lot of people right now, didn't have to be a priority for them, but they're still sticking to it.
Although our kids aren't back at our center yet, they will be back soon. And now, thanks to ReThink Disposable, we can get our participants in the habit of using foodware that isn't one-use disposable.
I love that we were able to provide kids with another option that's not throwaway, because there is no way.
So they'll know what we did before and they'll see the changes we make, and hopefully they bring that home to either their families or their friends, let them know, hey, look, the youth center is making this cool change, we should do it as well.
And that's the only way that we're going to change the system to solve this global waste crisis.
I think it'll be really cool to teach the kids about this and why we did it. Oh, it's awesome. It's a great feeling.
That really is awesome, Grace. Thank you for sharing that with us. So can you say a little bit about how you got involved with the aftercare program and what was the biggest challenge in eliminating the use of disposables?
Yeah, sure. So with ReThink Disposable, I mean, our program is, and this is something that I've learned definitely through the pandemic, is that, you know, with the program, we don't work in a silo. We really depend on partnerships with not only the restaurants, but also our city partners and local community-based organizations. So this one, we actually really lucked out because the city of San Carlos, they actually connected us to the youth center. And that was through our contract with the county. So it was friends that we had at the county, you know, playing matchmaker with the city, and then the city playing matchmaker with the individual youth center.
So Grace, I know the power of this program because you've impacted my own household. But what are some of the tips that you can give to people in our audience on how they can eliminate the use of single-use plastics in their homes?
Yeah. Thanks, Bernice. So I kind of, before I have a collection of items from my home sitting right next to me, And I wanted to share folks kind of, just what we do in our house. But I kind of wanted to put it into context a little bit because I've been thinking a lot about how and why individual actions are so important. So, I know there's this big number, and it's 51 billion. And so that is the amount of greenhouse gases that we release into the atmosphere globally. And so by the year 2030, we're supposed to cut that down by half. And by the year 2050, we're supposed to get that to zero. And so, a lot of folks out there that are thinking about these kind of high level climate change situations, they look at transportation and energy infrastructure. But what's not really talked about as much is our households and more of the industrial section. So it's the stuff that is made to bring into our homes. So with industrial sector, that accounts for about 30 to 40% of the greenhouse gas emissions that's released into the atmosphere is from the industrial sector. And a lot of that is from plastic production. And plastic production is on the rise. Companies are putting billions of dollars into building new oil refineries in the next 2 years. So it's ramping up. And a lot of these companies need a place to put their plastic, right? So they're putting into a lot of these products for consumers to purchase so that they can keep pulling the oil out of the ground. And much of the production as part of the industrial sector, it's to make plastic packaging. It's about 40%. Of the kind of, the energy that goes into making plastic and the greenhouse emissions and all of that, a lot of that is put into plastic packaging that we use for our single-use disposable wares. So, so that's kind of the higher level. And in order to change that entire system is to bring down that demand of the plastic packaging. So then that starts with our individual actions at home. And if there's no demand, we can kind of untether ourselves from all of these single-use products and are just kind of relying on convenience, of getting like that takeaway coffee or takeaway, food packaging at the grocery store or what have you. So I have next to me are some items that, what we've done. And so, instead of using Ziploc plastic bags, we actually, and I'm not being paid by this company. I actually just picked up some yesterday, but are these stasher bags that are reusable silicone. And so we use these instead of Ziploc bags. And they come in all different shapes and sizes and colors. Here's a bigger one for like salad greens and things like that. And they're silicone, so they're reusable and washable. And you can actually cook in this. Like I know some people like do sous vide, which is like a slow cook of meat in these. So you can actually cook with these. And then instead of plastic wrap, what we've been doing is that we use these silicone top instead of the plastic wrap. And these are washable. You can throw these in the dishwasher, like that kind of stuff. Instead of buying individual plastic bottles for soap, like hand washing soap and things like that we know it's so important right now to keep our hands clean. I use this glass mason jar. You can buy this, it's called like a foaming pump. Instead of a plastic, single-use plastic floss, I use these glass jars. And you can actually buy the floss inside. Unfortunately, the floss inside is usually wrapped in a plastic bag, but it's much less than the entire box of floss that you usually buy in the supermarket. And you just refill these and you use this container over and over again. Really cool.
Well, thank you, Grace. Thank you for the awesome work you do. I've seen the importance of it around the country. And I also think we were just talking with Jesus a few minutes ago, and the connection you just made between the work that you do as a way to reduce the demand for that oil, that the production of which impacts the communities that Jesus lives in and works with. I think that's an important connection for all of us to keep in mind too. So thank you very much for your work. And again, it's some of the really important work that Clean Water is doing, and with the support of all of our members and donors, we'll keep doing in the year to come.
Thanks, Bob.
Bye, Grace.